Hello. Some of you will remember that one of the first videos that I posted on this new video blog thing was a video called Bunkers and Prostitutes, at the end of which I made a very brief reference to something that may or may not have happened in Italy a number of years ago. Anyway, as a result of that posting, a number of you decided that you were going to create the story as you saw it in your minds, since I decided not to tell you much about it. And it created quite an interesting little discussion between a number of you, my friends, including Dwayne Curtis, Charles Woods, Pat Bain, Tanya McCartney, Andrew Delaveau, please forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody, but Donna Harding, a number of you decided that you were going to create a nice little story. And my friend Nicola decided that she wanted to hear, that she wanted to see a video of the story that you all created, which I have decided to call Evan and the Contessa. Actually, Shaky, you dirty little bitch, you actually added a bit to it as well. But anyway, I think all of you people looking at this will quite enjoy it. It's an interesting little story weaved together by all of you. Everybody put in a little bit, and I was just really enthused after reading all of this, and tickled pink actually that you decided to put all of this together. Anyway, I digress. Before I get carried away with my little monologue here, let me start to read to you some of this story of Evan and the Contessa. Here goes. And yeah, this was all started by Dwayne Curtis, who, as the story goes, it was a dark and stormy winter night in a padded cell. In Italy, where Sean Forbes was placed after being arrested for not paying after indulging in an adult act with a person of the night. Sure, right. The padded cell was necessary for his own safety because, and forgive me if it goes in and out, but different people added bits and pieces, but I think you'll still like it. As Sean sluggishly awoke on the plush carpet of his hotel room, how did I get here? How did I get back home, he wondered, the past night's hedonism already a blurred memory. What time is it? He stared at his David Yurman watch. Sure. Horrified as the dial came into focus. Oh no! My flight leaves in 2 hours. He hurriedly crammed his clothes into his Louis Vuitton bag. Yeah, right. But as he was about to make a mad dash for the hotel lobby, he realized his wallet was missing. Forgive me, but he did not care about the money or his Black American Express card. He only wanted the return of his photos. Black American Express card, sure, yeah, right. Not to mention his passport. He resolved to return to his place of repast the previous night, but not having any money for cab fare, decided to take the to the streets and hitch a ride. That sounds like, well, never mind. He thought of the sordid documentation of a night of lust he regretted making on his also missing ice phone. I take it that means iPhone, yeah. Oh no, if those get into the wrong hands, my career is ruined, he moaned. Sean, frantic at this point, ransacked the hotel room in search of the wallet. His cards, his money, his life was in that wallet, but also a scribbled note that at any cost could not fall into the hands of anyone with less than noble motives. This is Niall Turnquest, by the way, just in case you were wondering. The note, you see, carried a list of names, a list whose meaning of which only Sean was knowledgeable. He thought back to the night before. Oh, the night before! The memories came crashing back all at once. As he headed out into the city street, he thought of his options. Return to the Contessa's villa to try to find his belongings, or just catch the next plane and live his life out in exile in Brazil. His mind whirled. Suddenly a large black limousine pulled up, blocking his path. The door opened. "Get in," growled a rough voice, the kind of voice one does not say no to. He breathed a sigh of relief for one brief moment and thought out loud, reminding himself that he was in Italy. The folks back home would never know. This was indeed a comforting thought, but only for a second. Evan Jones, had also traveled to Italy. Would he talk when he got back home? What could he do to buy his silence? It all began sometime past 1 o'clock a.m. as Sean was making his way back to the hotel. He vaguely remembered what he thought was a shortcut, an alleyway that he had spotted earlier during the daylight. Now, you know, Sean tolerated only the daylight hours and was in his element in the dark of night. He turned to progress into the alleyway when he heard a soft voice calling his name. Evan Jones, the owner of the rough voice, barked again for him to enter the limo. "Sean, what are you doing?" "Evan? Why are you here in Italy?" "I was sent to come and get you. Your escapades last night wound up on the internet, on some god-forsaken smut chat room. Evan, you have to understand. The night I had. There was this lady, such a lovely soft voice calling my name. She was resplendent. That was the Contessa. She drugged you, you fool. Look at these." Evan shoved an envelope into his hand. In horror, Sean perused a variety of photographs of him in several compromising positions, with several participants of different, shall we say, species. Okay. Sean stared at the photos, mouth agape. How? I don't understand. I did this? Evan sneered at him. See? The Hermes scarf. Sean, of course it was you. The question now is, do you have the names of the other participants who were there? They could be your undoing. Where is the list? Evan persisted, tugging at Sean to get into the limo. But Sean was intensely focused in the soft voice, calling from the alley that only he could hear. Sean, even though he was tired from the night's events, was curious. He wanted to see who was that person calling his name from the dark alley. Evan tugged at him again, but Sean would not be distracted. Sure, he was concerned about the list. Yes, the list. But the voice had him captivated. Evan, however, withheld the evidence of activity which would have shocked even Sean in his rare state of sobriety. I hate you, Dwayne Curtis. List? What list? Asked Sean, feigning innocence. I know you do it well. But don't play the fool with me, Evan growled again. We need to find that list, and soon, otherwise, the next time you are seen with an Hermes scarf, it will be adorning your cold, dead neck, or worse, when you hand a customer their purchase. Me? Selling Hermes, or anything else? Anyway, personally, I don't care a damn about you, but you have some very influential friends who also seem to care about animals, or more than you do at any rate. With Sean wondering how he had managed to get into some of the positions depicted in the photos, the limo raced off. An adventure had begun. Sean stumbled up the cobblestone street. Oh God, this brings back memories, but I'll tell you about that another time. Away from the limo, Evan called out, "Sean, wait! I have something more to tell you." But Sean was too deep in his reverie to turn back. He knew that the list could be in one place only. He faced northward to the Contessa's villa. He dimly recalled the bevy of beauties paraded in front of him for his selection. The Contessa was behind all of this, he was certain. The drug still percolating through his body, he groggily straightened himself up and hailed a cab. "Via Montesina, per favore." The final photo was with a horse. "Pat Bain, you are sick." Sean had to stop this release. He was scared of the Animal Protection Society. God, you people are sick. Sick, sick, sick. Meanwhile, the Contessa awoke, her hair tousled just this side of seductive. She smiled slowly, languidly, as she imagined the state of her new victim. He thought he was wise in the ways of the world. How little he knew. Some of his partners in indulgence could be heard